morning. I don't know if I'm live. If somebody could let me know, that would be great. But we're going to get started here in just a few minutes. And then you can always go back onto my Facebook page and see that. I'm also going to share this on my Instagram page and then on my regular personal page. And I will be putting this up on my website as well. My name is Angelita Alvarez Hughes, and I am a Food for Life instructor. I'm also a certified plant-based nutritionist and personal in-home chef, and I specialize in vegan, whole food, plant-based cooking. I have, just a little bit about myself, I have lost over 35 pounds on this way of eating. I have always struggled with my weight and trying to find something that is good, fulfilling, that doesn't leave me wanting more, that I really enjoy. It was hard to find, so it was always depriving myself. I'd overeat, then I wouldn't eat, then I felt guilty because I wasn't eating, then I felt guilty because I was eating a lot. And then finally, after watching a documentary called What the Health, it really opened my eyes and my husband's as well, and we decided that we were going to approach this new way of living because we wanted our health more than we really cared about being thin. So that's what changed in my mind was, okay, I want to be thin, but more importantly than that is I want to be healthy. I want to be able to enjoy life, and then when the time comes for me to retire, or for us to retire, I want to be able to enjoy when we travel and be able to hike and be able to go up the mountain and be able to swim and scuba dive. And I don't want to be pushed around in a wheelchair or have to enjoy the scenery from a rocking chair somewhere. There's too much life, and I decided that what I'm fueling my body with is what's going to give me a better way of life, or it's going to cause me to have issues later on. This is my own personal opinion. Everybody is different. Everybody eats differently. And that's, that's up to you. That's a choice that you're willing to make and you live with and you're happy with. I judge no one for the way that they eat. Should you decide that you want to change the way you're eating, just inbox me, or you can send me a message to my website at www.earthseedsandwater.com. Anyway, so today I'm going to be teaching you how to make a vegan cheese sauce that's very versatile. I pour it over rice, I mix it with pasta to make a macaroni and cheese, I pour it over air fried French fries, also baked potatoes, sweet potatoes. You can use it as a dip. You can add some soy chorizo to it and make it spicy. You can use it as a 7-layer dip. You can use it to make enchiladas, for the base of your tostadas. There's for nachos. I mean, just any way that you would use a cheese sauce, this is how you would use it. It's really easy. Has a few ingredients. I put the recipe on my website, but if you've got a pen and paper, I'll go over that with you real quickly as we're getting ready to put everything in. So you're going to need a high-power blender. I have a Ninja. And what you're going to do is you're going to add 2 cups of vegetable broth, vegetable stock, or just water, whatever you choose. I like vegetable broth because it gives it a little bit more flavor. We're going to add 1 cup of soaked walnuts. So they have to be raw. So then I keep mine in the freezer so they won't go bad. And then I just take out a cup and I put boiling water over them and I let them sit for about 20-30 minutes, and then I rinse them to make sure that there's no dirt or anything on them. So they're really soft. You're going to pour that in the same blender. You're going to add 12 ounces or 1.5 cups of pimentos or roasted red peppers. And these are sliced. I purchased a big jar at Costco. So you want to drain them, make sure that you try to get as much of the liquid out as possible. Pour that in there. You're going to add 3 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice. You can use lime juice, it just gives it a little bit tartar flavor, but it's still really good. If you don't have walnuts, you can use cashews. You can use almonds, but you have to take the skin off the almonds, and then you can also use sunflower seeds. But they all have to be soaked. So in goes the lemon juice. We're going to add 1 teaspoon of salt. You can use pink Himalayan salt. I just use fine sea salt. If you don't do salt, you don't have to use salt at all. You can just, you'll get the salt from the vegetable broth. I'm going to use half a teaspoon of Chile de Arbol. And this is a very spicy pepper. I don't like things really, really spicy, but if you like it spicy, add a teaspoon, add a tablespoon, however you like it. You kind of gauge it. And when you start heating it up, you can kind of taste it as you go, and if it's not spicy enough for you, add a little bit more. We're also going to add 2 teaspoons of ground garlic powder. And you're going to add 1 teaspoon of onion powder. 3 tablespoons of tapioca starch. Everything goes in there. And nutritional yeast. This is what gives it that cheesy flavor. It comes in flakes. I'll bring it up a bit closer so you guys can see it. See how it smells really good. Some people don't like it. So I don't know if there's a substitute out there for this or not. And if there is, please let me know. But it also comes fortified with B12. So if you're eating plant-based or vegan, B12 is vital. You need to make sure that you get B12 into your diet. And even when I wasn't eating this way, I was still very low on my B12, so I used to have to take B12 shots. And now I no longer need the shots. But anyway, so you're gonna add the nutritional yeast. Put this on your blender. And you're gonna blend this on high until it's really smooth. So it's gonna be loud, so forgive me for this. As you can see, it's very liquidy. So don't worry about that. We're going to change that. So what you're going to do now is you're going to use a sieve. Make sure it's a fine one because we're going to try to catch all the particles. And you're going to put that over your pan and you're going to pour everything into your saucepan. So what you do is with your spatula, you're going to move this around so you can get all that liquid in there. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. You can pour it in just like this into the pan. It just makes it gives it some texture. But if you're looking for something really smooth, then you'll want to do this. If you don't care. If you like it like that, that's fine. Especially if you're going to add like the soy chorizo to it, or let's say if you're going to add this to some beans, or you're going to add fresh peppers to it, or what have you. You don't really have to do this. This takes a minute, but believe me, it's well worth it. especially if you want something really silky. Now I know it looks like there's a lot here, but we really have to mash it really well. And then the good thing about this right here, the stuff that's left over, put it in a little jar. Don't throw it away. Put it in a little jar, and you can use that on toast. So if you make some toast and you want something just a little bit spicy, you put it on the bottom of the toast, and then you add some avocado to the top of it, and you've got yourself a nice little treat. Or say you're making a veggie burger, so when you're doing all the mixing, your beans and your rice or your quinoa or whatever it is that you're mixing it with, you can add this to it, and that'll give you another level of flavor. Because when it all comes down to it, we want flavor, because if it's bland, nobody's going to want to eat it. At least that's been my experience. If it's bland, I don't care. I gotta add something to it. So you just keep mashing it. You're going to turn your heat on to low. And what happens is the tapioca starch is going to start thickening the cheese sauce. Okay, I think we got all of it. Don't forget to scrape the bottom. All right, and then, like I said, save that, don't throw it away, or you can mix it into some pasta as well. Or if you're doing refried beans, I mean, there's so many things that you can add this to. So this is what it looks like once you run it through the sieve, whatever's left over. You can also add it to some avocado. Mash your avocado and just add it to it, and you will be fine. So when you're mixing this, make sure you use a whisk, because you don't want it to lump. And you're going to have to constantly stir. And this takes a few minutes. So if you're having a bad morning, you need some boy to let go of some aggravation, just sit here and just stir, stir, stir. Just kidding. I know we all have wonderful days. So keep doing this. And like I said, it's going to take a few minutes, so just be patient. But it's well worth it. And what I do is I store it in a glass container. Let it cool down first, and then I put it in the fridge. It'll keep in the refrigerator for about 5 days, but it's not going to last that long, believe me. If you want nachos, a good way of making low-fat nachos, because let's face it, everybody likes nachos. You take corn tortillas, and then you just cut them up into triangles. I put mine in the air fryer under air crisp for about 5 minutes. Let them toast up, no added oil. Take them out, and then I add my favorite toppings. Beans, you can add rice, you can add lentils, you can add chickpeas. Flavor all that up with your favorite taco seasonings. Pour that over your tortilla chips. And then you're going to pour the cheese sauce on top of that. And then on top of that, you add your lettuce and your tomatoes and your onions and your cilantro. Your pico de gallo if you want to. Some fresh jalapenos, pickled serranos, whatever you choose. And I can't answer any questions, but if you do have any questions, please put them in the comment section. I will get to those as soon as possible. You can also add, if you don't like Chile de Arbol, you can add, goodness gracious, just left my mind. Chipotle. The chipotle pepper powder, you can add it to this, and that'll give it another flavor. And then just add a couple of drops of liquid smoke, and you'll be fine. That one tastes really good as well. I mean, there's so many things that you can switch out. If you don't have tapioca, starch, you can use cornstarch as well. That works fine. It doesn't work good with flour, using flour as your thickener. That won't work. At least it hasn't for me, but if some of you figure it out, or you have had experience with that, please let me know, because I would love to try that. Also, if there's anything that you guys would like to try, that's one of your favorite meals now, and you just don't know how to make a healthier version or a vegan version of it, or whole food plant-based version of it, please inbox me, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to help you with that. Sorry, I got a call coming in, excuse me. Sorry about that. I'm using my phone, so that's what happens when you're going live. You never know who's going to call you. But anyway, so feel free to inbox me with what it is that you would really like to try, and you just don't know how to do it. Also, I do private cooking lessons. I'll come into your home and I will teach you how to cook this way, because sometimes it gets overwhelming, because you don't know where to start, or maybe you do know where to start, you just don't know how to put everything together, what flavors go with what, or how long to cook something. The other thing I do is I'm a personal home chef. I go into people's homes and I cook for them. I cook their meals. I package everything up for them. I leave it there to cool down, but I do leave the kitchen clean, and that helps some of my clients, because they're just so busy they don't have time to cook, but they want to eat healthy. But you know, if you've been working all day and then you come home and you've got to cook, it's sometimes trying to figure out what to cook and still have to get the kids ready for bed, or you still have to do laundry, or you know, just life in general. Just give me a call. It's usually about a 3 to 4 hour session, but I will leave enough food cooked for you for about a week. I know one of my clients, they still have food left over for the following Monday. I go to her on Mondays, and it's her and her husband and a 6-year-old. But, okay, so here it is, thickening up. I don't know if you can smell it. Grab a spoon. Oh, I wish you could smell this. It smells delicious. Now, if you like more garlic, once you make this, feel free to tweak it any way you want. Add more garlic, add fresh garlic, however you want it. Fresh onions, if you want to do fresh garlic and fresh onions, I suggest you saute those first, get them caramelized, and then add everything to the blender, and then follow the steps with the sieve. It'll give you a whole different level of flavor. I just didn't have time to do that today. Okay, here we go. It's starting to thicken up. I'll bring it to you guys. Right here at this point, you can also add a can of Rotel, which is diced tomatoes with chili peppers. They use that a lot to make cheese dip or queso dip for the Super Bowl, which will be coming up soon. And you can add a can of that to this, cook it all together. You've got the same thing, but there's no saturated fat in here, no animal products. And it's all very healthy for you. It can all be found in nature. Nothing was made in a plant, but came from a plant. All right, so you just keep stirring. I think it's just about done. You just want it to get to a very low simmer. You don't want to let it boil. And again, don't take your eyes off of it, because it will burn. And I think we're done. There we go. Now if you had some fresh pasta, You could pour this over your fresh pasta, add some fresh spinach to it, top it with some cherry tomatoes and some chopped up basil. There's your lunch. For breakfast, you can make just eggs, which comes in a little container. Scramble those up, have some potatoes on the side, and then pour this on the top. You can have some beans on the side with that. Some corn tortillas. You've got yourself a really good hearty breakfast. All right, so we're done. And then the longer it sits, as it starts to cool off, it will get a little bit thicker, but it's not going to solidify. And when you go to reheat this, you're just going to add 1 tablespoon at a time to get it to this consistency again. Or you can microwave it, but be careful when you microwave it. Make sure you put something on the top to keep it from burning on the sides. Do it at about 20 seconds, excuse me, at a time. Stir it, and then when it comes out, pour it onto a baked potato. Give it to your kids. Make dinner. Don't tell your husband. Just kidding. Or your wife what you did. Just let them try to figure out what it is. Being in the kitchen and cooking your own meals, to some people is very stressful. To other people, it's very comforting. To me, it's very comforting. I don't mind cooking. I love cooking. I try to cook all our meals because I like to know what's going into my body, what's being, what we're getting ready to eat, how it was prepared, who prepared it, what fruits, vegetables, and all that stuff, where they came from, are they clean, I don't do all organic, but we do as much as we can. So it's just a step at a time, 1 meal at a time. Sometimes it's just an added serving at a time. I know that, the standard American diet, it's called the SAD diet, the acronym for it. Yeah, it tastes good. I mean, I used to love it. My favorite thing was barbecued worked ribs, macaroni and cheese, and all that. But when I really weighed my life against what I was eating and the quality of life I was going to have later on, it wasn't worth it to me anymore. Again, that's a choice everybody makes. But I want to thank you for your time. And all right, this is done. So if you have any questions, please let me know. If you ever want to do a small get together whenever we're able to get back together, just call me. I'll be more than happy to come over there and cook for a group, or you can have your girlfriends or your guy friends over, and I can teach all of you how to cook something, or I can just cook it for you while you guys just enjoy and socialize and try to reconnect. Again, thank you so much. I will be back on here next Thursday. Next Thursday, I will be making a smoky pimento cheese. And then also starting the 18th, I believe, of this month, I will be back doing pop-ups every Tuesday at Good to Go Raw Juice, which is located in the same building as Pivotal Fitness at 5000 Old Smartburg Road in Taylor's. And if you guys want to do a juice cleanse, oh my goodness, they have the best stuff there. They really, really do. They're very particular about what they serve their clients. Again, thank you so much, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.